Welcome back. We are now going to have an interview with dietitian Amina Dindar. If you've ever wondered why New Year's resolutions, especially those related to dieting, seldom last longer than a few weeks, then we've got just the expert for you. Today, we're joined by registered dietitian Amina Dindar to debunk the myth of the New Year, New Me mindset and shed light on the true path to sustainable weight loss. Assalamu alaikum and welcome, Amina Dindar.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
What are some of the common pitfalls of New Year's diet resolutions?
I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is setting extreme or unrealistic goals, like cutting out entire food groups, drastically reducing their calories, or following very restrictive fat diets. These approaches often show very quick results, but they become so difficult to sustain, and they often lead to frustrations, cravings, and often people just give up then. Another common pitfall is focusing on very short-term outcomes. We're so focused on losing weight and we forget the long-term benefits of healthy eating. And then when the motivation dies, which it inevitably does, many people then return to their old habits. So I think choosing a balanced approach rather than following extreme trends are going to be important to avoid common pitfalls.
Understand. That is very true when it comes to dieting as well. So you don't want to just jump right in and get a whole rush of things. You don't want to fail. That's the main thing. So what are some of, in your expertise, what are some of the factors that contribute to failed diets? Like, obviously.
I think so diets often fail because we rely solely on willpower. If you have a strong willpower, you can do it. And those are the weaker willpower, it becomes very difficult. So relying on willpower alone, rather than a structured and realistic habits, often lead to failure. Many people, like I said, adopt very restrictive plans, and they become very difficult to follow in the long run. And then often they have a cheat moment and you feel failed and abandoned, and then you just abandon the entire plan completely. Often we have very difficulty regulating our emotions, and we often tend to go towards emotional eating as well. Things like stress, boredom, even sadness at times often lead us to eat for comfort rather than hunger. And without strategies to manage these type of things, we can easily be derailed off our diet. Another thing that often leads to failed diets is a lack of preparation. If you don't have nutritious meals or snacks on hand or readily available, you are more likely to grab convenience foods, which are often high in calories and low in nutrients. And these are some of the biggest factors we find that lead people to failing on their diets.
I think that's very true, especially when it comes to the discipline part, especially when, like you said, about the cheat meal. If a cheat meal has to come into play, that actually is creating a speed bump in your life, and that's going to make you take a detour maybe. So that should actually try and stay out, if anything. In your opinion, what are some of the key to long-term success when it comes to weight loss and healthy eating?
I think the most important factor in long-term success is consistency. Many people expect perfection, but real progress comes from small, sustainable changes that is applied over a long period of time. So instead of drastic dieting, focusing on habits that you can maintain for your life is going to be important. Prioritizing balanced meals are going to be important. Being mindful around your meals are going to be important. So understanding these strategies and implementing in your life are going to be important. Life happens, and often when it comes to very restrictive plans, we don't have any flexibility. So what happens is we then indulge. Like I said, we have a cheat meal and we indulge. And the key is to get back on track without feeling guilty or having that all or nothing approach. Being active, physical activity is also really important for long-term success. We can eat healthy and we can follow very good healthy eating plans, but without physical activity, we won't achieve long-term maintenance of our weight and our health goals.
So there has to be also a physical implementation as well, other than just eating as well. So of course that's 100% true. So how can individuals create a successful diet plan that they can stick to throughout the year, rather than just a few weeks? And you know how some people just create a plan and they stick to it a little bit, but then without even a cheat meal, they just jump right into going down the same path over and over. So how can we create something better?
So true. Creating a sustainable lifestyle or a sustainable plan is the most important. And a sustainable plan should be something that is enjoyable, it needs to be practical, and it needs to fit into our lifestyle. We often look to people and we see, oh, they've lost so much of weight, let's follow what they did. But their lifestyle and ours is very different. So we need to adopt a plan that works into our lifestyle without it feeling like a burden. If a plan is too restrictive or complicated, it won't last too long. So, building a plan, we need to have some key factors in place. Things like following the 80-20 rule, eating mostly nutritious foods 80% of the time, and then leaving room for treats for about 20% without feeling guilty. I think that's really important. When it becomes too restrictive and we're going 100%, we often fall back too far, and then it becomes difficult to pick up ourselves up. Also, finding meal options that we enjoy. Not everyone is a rice, chicken, and broccoli person. So if you're going to be eating this every single day and for even just 2 weeks, you're going to get bored, you're going to get frustrated, and you're not going to stick by the plan. So finding meals that you enjoy and adapting them to a healthier lifestyle. So reducing the amount of fat, using leaner proteins, using more complex carbs and avoiding the refined carbs. Another important things that we often fail is planning. Plan ahead. Prepare meals and snacks in advance to avoid last-minute unhealthy choices. And I think also adjusting as you need. Each week, each month is different, and our needs change throughout the year. So being flexible and modifying your plan based on your lifestyle, your stress levels, and your schedules within that week or within that month is going to be important.
100%. I agree. This couldn't have come at the better time of the year, especially with Ramadan coming up. It prepares our bodies also to fast, have a better mindset while fasting, and not just get headaches or bumped by frustration and everything. And that comes in with high nutrition and with a proper diet plan as you speak. So even with that, I mean, going into Ramadan about it, we should try and stay away from all these samosas and oily foods and all of that. So I think that really will help. So saying with that speaking, are there any particular foods or nutritions that individuals can prioritize when trying to lose weight and maintain a healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, most definitely. I like that you mentioned Ramadan because it's the perfect example to show us that not every month is the same. And when Ramadan comes, we often fail at planning. We often plan the savories and we plan around maybe our work schedule and things like that. But when it comes to our lifestyles, we forget to plan. We forget to adjust our sleeping habits. We forget to adjust the amount of caffeine we're drinking. We forget to adjust how much of snacks we're drinking or how much of snacks we're having and how much we're hydrating. So I think it's really important, and that's a really good example. With Ramadan coming, planning for that is really important. Getting back to particular foods or nutrients, no single food causes weight loss. People will drink liters of green tea and hope for some miracle in terms of weight loss. But certain nutrients are definitely key to supporting our metabolism, fullness, and overall health. And this is important to remember. And these are the three key factors that actually help with weight loss. Protein is really important. We often skip on protein, especially in terms of our snacks. And if you think about breakfast, our breakfasts are very carb heavy with very little protein. Protein helps to keep you full, it preserves your muscles, and therefore helps to boost your metabolism. So, including lean sources of protein are key to all meals and snacks as well. Fiber is also really important. It slows down our digestion, keeps us full for a longer period of time, and keeps our gut healthy. Gut health is really important for long-term management of our weight, our immune system, and overall health. Healthy fats also really important. When people think about losing weight, the first thing they try and do is to cut out fat in their diet. But including healthy fats are really important to help support hormone regulation, and also to keep us hungry. And I think I can't stress the importance enough of hydration. Keeping well hydrated is really important. It's often overlooked, but really essential. Making sure we're drinking enough water helps to control our appetite and definitely supports our metabolism. And last, obviously not, but definitely not least, is our complex carbohydrates. Again, when people want to lose weight, the first thing they cut out is carbs. And it's so essential because carbs actually provide our body with energy and they help to keep our blood sugar levels stable, which prevents cravings. So having your complex carbs, those ones that are high in fiber, are really important.
I think that's very true what you're saying. So it's not just about one food that will get you to get in weight loss or anything, like you said about the green tea. So it's basically we need to implement a whole lot of nutritious foods and work on that, and not just one type of thing. But thank you so much for having you. It was so lovely having you, Amina Dindar, on this topic, and we hope to have you again soon.
Jazakallah so much for having me. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much, everyone. That was Amina Dindar. We will go to a short break now. Thank you.